Hi guys, it's been a week or so. Sorry, I've been busy running pretty hard, so there was no video in the last few days. When I left you last time, I was enjoying a cheesesteak in New Jersey. I had no idea where I was going to go. As I was finishing the cheesesteak, I got a message, came across my little machine here that said, hey, you're going to Connecticut. You're going to pick up something in Connecticut, take it to Indianapolis, Indiana. All right, well, finish our meal, clean up, and plan the trip. When I got to planning the trip, I looked, and if you don't know your New England states, you can't get to Connecticut from New Jersey without going through New York City. Oh, New York City. So I got to figure out New York City. Well, I was late on hours. I was like, okay, let's hit New York City, going over the George Washington Bridge. Let's do it at 4:30, 4 in the morning. So we took off out of Millville, got to a truck stop about 2 hours out of New York. We set up for the night, and I got up at 2:30 the next morning and hit the road to hit New York at 4 to 4:30 in the morning. So if you don't know, New York's pretty big. It's kind of like a very scary, nerve-wracking drive for a truck. It's kind of a rite of passage also. And I decided, hey, I'm just going to hit the George Washington Bridge and get it over with. There's a way around it, but I didn't want to do that. Adds an hour. I'm going to do that next time. I'm not going over George Washington Bridge again. Cruising along, you can see New York City, the Big Apple, all those lights off to your right. You can't video, you can't do anything because the road's so much traffic and it's so bumpy. But I enjoyed it. It was cool to see. Cruise along. I'm getting nervous. Lots of small roads. Follow the signs of George Washington Bridge. My GPS is start doing weird stuff, telling me weird turns and things. I'm like, no, I'm following the signs. Connecticut, 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 George Washington Bridge. So I just did that. Got on the bridge, little bitty lanes, big holes bouncing everywhere. You can see water, see some lights. Cross the bridge, and you're in like Queens or Bronx or something. One of those New York kind of places. I'm just like, oh my God, what do you do if you break down? I don't know. I don't know what you do. So we just kept rolling, got through it, and then got into Connecticut. And it was just city after city after city in Connecticut. And I got to the shipper. It was a big steel plant. Didn't know what I was picking up yet. Pull up to the shipper, get out. Lady gives me the sheet. I go in, and I'm picking up Slinkies. And there's two other Melton trucks already there picking up Slinkies also. Slinkies are these little coils of wire. They look like a Slinky. So picked up my Slinky, and after a couple hours, I'm ready to roll, and I'm heading to Indiana. So I plug the information into my GPS and Google on my phone. I got two GPSs running, and the route they want me to go is back through New York City. Why? Who in their right mind would go through New York City at lunchtime? You know, insane. So I looked at Google Maps, had like one of the little gray route on Google Maps, had a northern route. It just went like 10 miles north across interstate, I can't remember which one it is, through upper New York State, Pennsylvania, into Ohio. I'm like, well, heck, that looks nice. Not a lot of big cities. Not sure as heck not going through New York. So I just got on the road, went up to that interstate, started heading across, and oh my gosh, I was so glad I did that. There's a lot of hills, and it was slow going because I was loaded down with 46,000 pounds of coil. But just enjoyed. The leaves were changing. It was kind of cloudy and rainy, and just beautiful place. Beautiful farms. New England is really interesting. I actually think it's a gorgeous place to drive across. And we got about to the middle of New York and low on hours, and I found a truck stop and pulled into Newburgh, New York. Was where George Washington, during the Revolutionary War, 1781, he was there, I believe it said. His headquarters were there. So parked the truck and went to see George Washington's headquarters, a whole house during the Revolutionary War. And then walked around the town, had a nice dinner on the Hudson River. Beautiful place. A lot of fun. Nice people. I want to go back and visit that again, explore the area more. West Point is 20 miles from there. West Point, the military academy. So had a nice dinner, finished touring around, got up early the next morning, went and stayed in Ohio at the terminal in Masonry, Ohio. Melton has a terminal there. Then got up the next day, ran hard all the way outside of Indianapolis. Got up that morning. As soon as I pulled in, they're ready to offload me. And before I was finished offloading, I already had another load 130 miles away in Terre Haute, Indiana. So slinkies are off the truck. We're rolling as fast as we can up to Terre Haute, Indiana. This load is supposed to go to Florida. So I go up there, and this place, the guys weren't so nice. Loaded some big old pieces of steel like this, really heavy and kind of scary. I didn't like the way it strapped down or was put on the trailer. So I took a while strapping that down, and I had to tarp the darn thing. So I took 2 tarps, got our tarps, and I was like, well, shoot, Florida. I'll get to see my dad, and let's take some time and go see my mom. But I sat for a second, and I was like, let's just wait till the first fuel stop. And because we have a lot of drivers live in Florida, and maybe they'll take this load away from me, give me somebody else's load, so somebody can go home. Well, sure enough, I wasn't in the truck 15, 20 minutes. Boom, I got a message, repower. Go meet this other guy 2 or 3 hours away, and you're going to swap trailers. That way he can go home. And so I was glad I didn't call the family. Went, met these guys, swapped trailers, went to sleep. Wasn't sure if I could get to my drop-off down in South Texas. I went all the way down as far in Texas as you can go. I'm right on the Mexican border right now, and had to get there pretty fast. So I put my little numbers in, said, hey, instead of 7 o'clock, can I make it 10 o'clock drop-off? And I headed out. And again, I got 2 different GPS tracks, and I looked at the maps. And I was like, well, one's shorter, and it doesn't go through Dallas, San Antonio. Same amount of time, roughly. And the other one goes through Dallas. I could have gone to Tulsa to the terminal. It goes through some big cities. I don't like that road. I don't like going through Dallas. I don't like going through San Antonio. I was like, I'm just going to go through the countryside, East Texas. And I like going through East Texas. It's pretty. So we took off on the little Google Maps on the smaller roads. And we took off on that route. Beautiful drive, loved it, and got down to South Texas. Only big city was Houston. I hit Houston at 10:30 in the morning, and I didn't slow down below 45 or 50 the whole way. No traffic. Got down here to South Texas. I was 30 miles out of Corpus Christi, if you want to see it on a map. So got up early this morning, and dropped this load off at a pretty cool warehouse. Big load of steel. Got there at 7 o'clock, like I was supposed to originally. Dropped off, and haven't got a trip yet. I pulled over to Walmart, did some shopping. Now we're at the Love's, and I decided, since we're sitting here waiting on a load and nobody's here at the Love's, early yet, it's lunchtime, I pulled in to get 2 new tires put on this trailer. They're a little thin, so hopefully they'll get these tires on here, and I can get back and get me a parking spot for the night if I don't get a load. So it's Thursday. Hopefully we get a load for tomorrow for the weekend. We'll see what happens. But down here in South Texas, 90 degrees. And that's it. Been a busy week, about 2,100 miles, 2,500. I don't know, a lot of miles, a lot of loading, a lot of East Coast traffic and stuff. A little slower, but enjoying it. Getting to see a lot of different cities and different parts of the country. So hope you like it. Come back and see where we go next. Who knows? We'll hopefully find out in a day or two. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.